Protesters have torched a government building in the Lebanese city of Tripoli in a fourth night of unrest over the government's handling of the economy and the pandemic. The Lebanese Red Cross says more than 100 people were injured in clashes. There were also angry demonstrations outside the homes of Tripoli politicians. The protesters say a strict lockdown is compounding the economic misery caused by Lebanon's financial crisis. A piece of ancient jewellery has been rediscovered on a beach in Denmark. A necklace dating back to the Stone Age was found buried in the sands of Thorsminde in the north of the country. It's been described as a rare and insanely beautiful discovery.
Some of the front pages for you on Friday morning. Another shot in the arm for Britain. It's the Daily Mail headline you can see there as it hails the Novavax vaccine. We're going to be talking about that quite a bit this morning. As we've been hearing, will be produced on Teesside if it is approved by the UK regulator.
The Times reports the Prime Minister's confidence in the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine for over 65s after Germany decided not to use it for that age group.
The Guardian says millions of doses of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, which is produced in Belgium, of course, could be blocked from entering the UK within days after the EU warned it had to address shortages in its member states.
And one of the most read stories on the BBC News website today is that 2/5 of us are exercising less during this lockdown than in the first. A survey suggests we're watching more television and films this time around, with less time spent on volunteering and hobbies. Charlie, are you exercising less this lockdown?
Yes, now, it's interesting.
This lockdown?
This story, well, no, I think I get out on my bike a little bit.
Yeah.
So I try and do that as much as I can. This is a story, I pick up on this one from, this is from the Telegraph, I think, actually. And they're looking at some of these stats around 4 in 10 people, apparently, now exercising less than they did in the first lockdown. A survey conducted by University College London. 70,000 people they talked to. So it's quite a bit. It's quite a lot of people, in fact. Now, a third admit they've reduced their involvement in hobbies.
Oh,
for example, while volunteering. Now, here's one that is maybe a little bit surprising, not least because of what we were just talking about. Volunteering down by 36%. And then a little bit further down here. Now, how do you rate happiness, OK? How do you rate happiness? It's one of those things that, anecdotally, people are saying they're feeling it's a difficult time, particularly at the moment.
I think it was the last week, wasn't it? It was Blue Monday, miserable weather.
So people were also asked in this survey to rate their happiness out of 10. The average mark being 5.6 out of 10.
What, now?
Yeah. So go back to April, and that number was 5.8. I mean, how can you put a number on that?
I find that quite surprising because last April, weren't we still in the midst of really good weather? So, you know, people were feeling a lot more happy, and we hadn't had almost a year of all of
the weather has a bearing. Can I just point this picture out to you? I know we were talking about exercising. I'm not suggesting people should try this if they're going out for their hourly exercise. This is a stunt cyclist, Danny MacAskill, who is quite extraordinary. If you ever watched any of the things he does. And he's on the Isle of Skye. And that's him, and that's where he's going. It's just extraordinary, the things he does.
So when you're out cycling, is that how we should...
It's really not like this. Similarities is that my bicycle has wheels and all those things. That's pretty much where it stops.
Is it?
Yeah.
How fast do you think he'd have had to cycle to get up there? Do you know what I mean? Well, because when you're going up a steep slope, you have to go up pretty fast, don't you? Otherwise, you're just going to stop.
No. OK. I think the thing is, right, I don't think he cycled up here.
How do you know?
I think what he did is he got up there.
How do you know?
And then the stunt is to come down it.
But he's facing up. So
what you'd like... we can let Danny MacAskill know. So the stunt you'd like him to perform is to cycle up the hill.
No, he's facing up, isn't he?
I mean, Naga, look, normally on a bicycle, you're going in the direction that your head is, you know, your face is pointing towards.
I thought he was going up the other way. Look, here's a story. Anyway, look, here's a story. So, Charlie, you may like this.
Have we moved on, or have we established which way around you cycle a bicycle?
You may like this story in the Telegraph now.
It was a surreal
anyone
moment.
who has a pet ferret, right? Anyone who has a pet ferret will know that they could probably be quite mischievous. They get into all sorts of scrapes. This pet ferret, 2-year-old Bandit, Bandit is the ferret's name, given a 1% chance of survival after it snuck into the washing machine, got involved with the...
I'm not entirely moved on, I must admit. In my head, I've not entirely moved on. Sorry, you keep going.
Endured a 100-minute cold wash cycle. So it was close to death. Its body temperature dropped to a critical level. Rushed to the vets in West Yorkshire. Poor little Bandit had a collapsed lung, bruising, placed in an oxygen tent on a heat mat, given medication for pain to aid its breathing, and it had this procedure to release air from its lungs. Breathing improved, body temperature rose. You're still laughing. Within 4 hours, he took a few gentle steps. So Bandit the ferret, 2-year-old Bandit ferret, is fine. Look, can we just make really clear, right? When you're holding something this far away, Charlie, can you tell from this angle which way the cyclist is facing? No, you can't. It just looks like a person on a bike. So that was an innocent. It was an innocent. You're actually sweating because you're holding in the laughter.
All I'll say is, if anyone sees someone sitting backwards on a bicycle in or around Manchester in the next couple of days, we'll know who it is. It's someone just has an unconventional riding style.
Don't go on a bicycle backwards. Just drive forwards. Try to keep on the flat and stay safe.
6:20 this time.